Hey man, what country am I from?
He doesn't speak proper English.
Okay.
Did you say blinding?
Alright, do you know how to play? Do you know the rules of the game?
You just slap each other with the tortilla, right?
It's a bit more than that. What's your water balls? Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, never laughs and spits out the water.
Alright, so essentially this game, the rules of this game, no one's allowed to laugh or scream whilst they're slapping or being slapped. Because the purpose of the water is to check if you're laughing or screaming. You can't laugh and scream and retain water in your mouth. Without further ado, this is the tortilla challenge. Your water's right there on the right. Please fill your mouth with water. And this is the Knobheads podcast. This is the next episode. We look very different.
I know.
I look cool, and you don't look cool.
I'm
But
pretty sure I look better than you would.
we'll leave that to the audience to decide in the comments down below.
I'll leave that to your girl
That
to
can-
decide.
What girl?
In my pants.
So, okay, so crude, so soon. And okay, so this is the Knobheads podcast. I'm your host, David Ekunno. This is your boy.
Miller.
There we go. And this is going to be the best episode we've ever done, isn't that right?
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I thought I couldn't swear for a second. All right. You know why. Background story, Okay, so before we go on to this episode, last episode we talked about slut shaming, but we missed a really obvious kind of elephant in the room topic.
Yeah. Why men aren't, I guess, slut shamed and women are.
Exactly. And do you want to tell us why, Charlie? Or, in your opinion, what do you think?
I believe that it's looked at as men always being the sexual, not even really sexual, anything in life, but especially sexual, like conquerors and stuff. And women were always looked at as the pure, the virgin, the prize and stuff and all that. So it's like okay, it's that challenge
Mm.
for men versus the challenge for women is not to give it up.
Exactly. Okay, so continue on that. So what does that mean? We call women sluts and we don't call men sluts as much.
I think that's like where it stems from.
Yeah.
I agree with it. I don't think it should be like that. I think that, you know, that everybody does their own thing and nobody needs to be slut shamed unless, like we talked about before, it's a committed relationship or some type of exclusivity. But yeah, that's pretty much why like it's like that in my opinion because of just traditionally how history has had it with like men and women and the relationship between the two when it comes to like sex.
Yeah. Okay, here's my answer. I think the reason we slut shame women more than men is the same reason we ask men to do the courting and not women. So we put the responsibility, like you said, of chasing on the man. So the man is the person that courts the woman. The man is the person that is supposed to pay for dates and is essentially supposed to convince the woman into going to that next level in the relationship. Generally speaking, this isn't the case every single time. Of course, there's exceptions, but generally speaking, that is the case. And for that reason, by extension, if a man is sleeping with lots of women, it's because he's good with women and he's good at convincing women to take it to that next level of the relationship. But then if a woman is sleeping with lots of men, it kind of just means she said yes a lot of times. Am I wrong? Did I say something wrong? So it doesn't sound super, PC, but I think that's kind of where, well, that's one of the main places where, or for the reason we slut shame women more than men, I think. But yeah, any comments on that?
No, I think that's overall broad like reason why.
Yeah, it's warm in here.
Is it?
I picked the wrong outfit. It's 80 degrees,
Oh wow.
and I'm in all black.
You trying to help save that power,
Yeah, dude.
power grid.
Oh yeah. No.
They've been asking us
I'm
to,
trying to
like,
save my
turn up the
pockets.
degrees on our like
Really?
AC units. You haven't been getting them emails?
No.
Turn up your degrees.
You know what I've been
And
getting?
they've been asking us to save water.
You know what I have been getting?
You are sweating.
Yeah. You know what I have been getting? My energy
Heat
bills.
stroke. That's what you've been getting, obviously.
Okay, my energy bills. Thanks for ruining my joke. My energy bills is what I've been getting, and them tins kind of go high. So man does not use that AC often.
Having bitches up in here sweating and shit.
Yeah, that's how I
just take off some clothes.
Yeah, that's how I get them out quickly. We do our thing, and then they just leave because they're like, "Fuck, it's hot," and I'm like, "Yup." Anyway, okay. So today, what are we talking about? You know what? I have a question for you, mate.
What's poppin'?
All right. So my question is, it's about sex, obviously, but my question is, do you think sex can just be physical?
I believe that it can if both parties agree to that, but it won't stay like that. I believe it can only be physical for a limited amount of time if both parties have agreed to that.
Okay. Why does it not become physical after some time goes by?
I believe with a lot of things in life, there comes a sense of like familiarity when you're doing something a lot.
Yeah.
When you're doing something a lot, like, and there becomes a sense of comfortability
Okay.
with someone. And I believe what comes with comfortability is secureness.
Yeah.
And so once you build sexual familiarity with someone and comfortability,
Comfort.
comfort. Now your secureness is somewhat on some level attached to that person.
Security. I get that. So, I mean, if that's...
Why you
He's English. You're ruining his language. So if that's the case, then surely the first time you sleep with someone, you're slowly building that kind of intimacy, which is making it so that, 5-6 times down the road sleeping with each other, it's not going to be just sex anymore. It's not going to be just physical.
Yeah, I mean,
Do you know
also, just where people are in life. Like, there are some people out there who are like real like sex addicts or like real nymphos, this, that, and the other, who they have been or maybe are in points of their lives to where they've had sex like with one person one day, another person the next day, a third different person, and never spoke to them people again, and I just never thought differently. They're like, whatever, da da da. Like, but I do believe for those people,
Yeah.
that eventually it can, after a long period of time, start to drain you almost. Like, because you're taken away from, if you're doing it for a long extended period of time, I feel like you're taking away from, like, I don't even know the right words. I want to say the coolness or like just the experience sometimes of like what sex can be, because you're making it so just
Casual.
yeah.
It's like when you take a drug too many times, you don't get the same high.
Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. Okay, good. All right. I agree. I think that when you do have sex too many times and with too many people, you kind of casualize it, and I actually think you sort of cheapen your own body, because you're sending a message to yourself that you'll sleep with anyone and that sleeping with people isn't that big of a deal.
I mean, I don't know about. I mean, I guess cheapen in a certain way.
In a certain way.
You know, because this dick ain't free. You know what I'm saying?
Sure, you might be charging more for it, but there's a certain
maybe gonna sell on
visceral.
the weekends, but this dick ain't.
Is it wholesale on the weekend?
On sale.
On sale. Okay, cool.
On
Brilliant.
sale, wholesale, whatever. Wholesale, maybe wholesale on the weekend.
That's a good question. Have you ever slept with someone and gained money in return?
No, I've never
Not even like, oh, that was so good, I'm gonna buy you lunch tomorrow.
No. I think that it added to it, but I believe that just me, how I am in general, made the girl feel good to be like, oh, I fuck with him, like da da da, like. And I think that the bomb sex just added to it, like was a bonus. But I believe the girl probably would have spent money on me anyway.
Fair enough.
What about you?
No, women don't spend money on me.
What? Oh, sir, you gotta value yourself more.
I mean, listen, the best gift I've got, or the only gift I can remember I've gotten from a woman is, those adapters for your charger? That. And it was so, not confirmed, but it was so obvious that it was, for free. She got it, on an airport or something, you know what I mean?
Okay, let me ask you this. So, if a woman takes me out.
Takes you out.
Takes me out. If
Okay.
a woman takes me out
Sure.
to eat.
Yeah.
The last time a woman took me out was on Father's Day. So does that count because it was Father's Day?
As
Or
what? Does that count for what?
Versus because obviously if fathers are going out on Father's Day, most of the time they're not paying.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, that counts. I'm
saying,
not a father, so no one's taking me out on Father's Day.
Right, but I'm
No
saying,
female has taken me out on my birthday.
Right, but I'm saying does that
You know I'm not happy. You know I'm trying to
count as far as nobody's gonna look at a girl crazy at all if oh yeah, I took him out for Father's Day, versus some people may look at a girl a little weird you took a dude out and it's not a holiday. You get what I'm saying?
So does it count for points for her? Is that what you're saying?
Does that count in general as far as just actually being taken out?
Oh, yeah. Of course it does.
Okay.
Yeah. It's something.
Yeah.
Yeah, definitely.
I believe
It's less spontaneous.
I like it. It makes me feel anybody who knows me knows when I'm dating women and stuff, I'm not stingy with my money.
Okay. Do you always pay for the first date?
Do I always pay for the first date?
Yeah.
I want to say I have 95% of the time I paid for the first day.
In that
I think
5%.
in my lifetime, maybe once or twice, a woman was like, "Let's go out," and I'm gonna pay. I was like,
Okay. You've never split the bill half-half? You've never gone Dutch? You've never been to Amsterdam?
"This guy."
He's cultured.
Have I ever went Dutch before?
That's not cultured.
I have. I definitely have.
Okay.
I even do the whole. I was talking about this with somebody. Like when whoever pays the bill, the other person covers the tip.
That's cool.
Like, have you done that?
That's good. That's actually a brilliant way to do it.
Yeah.
I haven't done that, no. If I pay, I cover the tip. So you typically pay for the first date. Are you offended if a girl expects you to pay?
It depends.
Okay.
It depends. I'm a firm believer in whoever asked who dates.
Oh.
I'm a believer in that. So if a woman is saying like, "Oh, we should go out and stuff to hear about da 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 this day da da da," technically speaking, she's the one that asked me out. So
So do you go expecting her to pay?
I go expecting her to offer.
Okay.
Now, if I will allow her to pay,
And if she offers, what do you do?
depends. I've had times.
So many depends.
I know, right? Because it's a game. It's a game. It really is a game.
Choose a
It's a
side.
game. Because I've had times to where I've straight up told a woman, like, when she said, "Oh, I'll pay," and then I just say, "Okay," and I'm waiting to see if she's
If she's gonna follow through.
exactly.
Okay.
Because or if she was gonna hesitate or be like, "Oh, I didn't expect him to say that," or if it's just she's totally fine with it
Yeah.
and stuff. Because don't offer if you don't mean it.
True.
Don't offer if you don't mean it. Because
Exactly.
then I'm actually gonna see if you were willing to go through with it.
Yeah.
Like,
Have you had people pull out? Been like, I said that out of courtesy. I wasn't really trying to. Have you had that happen to you before?
I think one time a girl, she didn't pull out, but she was just a little surprised. She was like, "Oh, I thought you was gonna say never mind and cover." She was like, "But don't worry, I got money." Da da da.
Okay. But then what do you say? Oh no, we'll go Dutch, and that's just a test. Do you or do you let her pay even if she passes the test?
Well, that time I had let her pay.
So if she asks you out, you're checking to see if she's willing to pay. If you ask her out, do you care if she's willing to pay? Do you wait for her to pull out the wallet?
I asked her out, so
Make a move.
I'm not offended. If I ask her out, I'm not offended if her expectation is for me to pay.
Yeah.
I'm not offended at all because that's my expectation. Like, I'm the one that said, "Hey, what are you doing on Saturday at 7 p.m.? Clear your schedule.
Yeah.
I want to go da da da."
Okay, so the onus is on the person who asked who out.
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense.
Absolutely.
Okay, let's go back to the
I
sex.
think a lot of women actually agree with that. At least the women who I know.
The women I know do not.
The women who I know.
Oh, the women I know, no. They're trying to. They say the men gotta pay and that's it. Why they get offended when I bring this thing up to them.
Like the women I know, they'll be like some of them, like I said, they'll say, "Oh, what you doing, Charlie? Like, I want to go do this, that, and the other Saturday, da da da."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "Oh, okay, cool." And we go out and stuff and all that, da da da. And it's time to pay. They pulling out their wallet. And I'm like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, "Oh, you're gonna pay." And they're like, "Yeah." They will say exactly the thing. They'll be like, "Yeah, I asked you out."
Okay, well, we need to mix friends because
And I'm just like,
that's not the mentality of most of
I'm
my
gonna get some tonight. I'm not no cheap hoe.
female friends. Right, okay. Interesting. Okay, so let's go back to the sex topic. So we talked about if sex can be just physical.
Yeah.
And you said yes, but you said eventually it's going to become not physical.
Right.
Okay.
Because you've had that before, right?
Just
So
physical
where,
sex?
you had sex with somebody and then y'all both had your fun, but then afterwards y'all both went your separate ways. And you didn't
Yeah.
think too much of it. You was like, whatever.
Not too much, but it still changes something. I think there is still, I'm not a spiritual person, to be honest, but I think there is something to some form of spirituality or some connection that you produce because of the intimacy. Yeah, it's something you can't take back.
I agree.
So I don't think sex can purely be physical, even though you can like dim the emotionality of it to the point that it's basically just physical, but there's still something attached to it.
But then also,
What?
we need to remember who we're having sex with, because certain people, that's why I say like if both people are up on the same page, because there are certain people who like I could have sex with and I know for me it's just physical, like whatever, but then for them, they may get more attached after the sex, or maybe if I know that they already are feeling me like that and stuff and all that, and the sex is just gonna amplify it. Like,
Yeah, 100%. But I just think even if you're not like affected by those emotions for that person, I think there's still an element of more than physicality with sex. You just can't feel it, especially if
sex actually make things worse between me and somebody before too.
cut me off. You just didn't feel it, right? Because why? Because like compared to the other person, you had no feelings involved. So you feel like you can be kind of tough and I don't know, removed from the feelings of it. But if I don't know, I think still something's there. Whenever you sleep with someone, I just think something happens. But you were saying what when you cut me off?
Like,
What were you saying? What did you say when you cut me off?
oh no, I've had
This guy wants
sex actually make something worse between me and a woman before.
Oh, how so?
Oh, this is just all up on me. Ladies, I don't give a fuck what a nigga says. Every nigga has had that time. Every nigga's at that time where he just, something was going on and he
couldn't
just
get it
wasn't
up.
playing. You know what I'm saying? He
Wasn't on salute?
Exactly, he wasn't on salute.
Yeah.
Had a chick at her crib. One thing about me, anybody knows me knows, I love head, so she sucking my dick, this, that, and the other.
Of course.
Dick on hard, sucking my dick and stuff.
Right,
And
escalate
at
quickly.
that time, mentally I was going through a lot, like with romantic relationships in my life and stuff.
Okay.
And so, and it had been a while since I had sex, so I felt a little pressure and stuff. And
To
like,
perform.
we go to her bedroom and stuff and all that, like, I'm all up in my mind. Next thing I know, she like is bending over on her bed and stuff and all that, like, ready to get at it.
This is after she's already been sucking your
Yeah.
fire hydrant.
Yeah.
And she was sucking on soft.
Well,
On medium
it was
mode.
on like medium, and when she started sucking it got hard.
Okay. Oh, so you did get there.
So I did get there.
You went
But
backwards.
then in my mind, I was like, oh shit, it's about to go down now.
Okay.
So go to her bedroom, and then like 30 seconds just.
Ew. Interesting.
Yeah, and I'm just like.
Talk us through that. How did that happen? What did you say to the girl? How did you comfort her through that miserable time, I guess? I don't know what to call it. Difficult time, hard time, he says.
So
Pun intended.
I basically acted like I came.
Is it? That's what you did?
I did.
Did you like...
She asked, she was like, did you? And I was like, yeah. So I was just acting like I came fast. Cause I don't know, for some reason I felt like that was better than, I just couldn't keep my dick hard because I was nervous.
Yeah.
Like,
Interesting. So she didn't know?
Exactly, she didn't know. Because, well, two reasons. One, because I felt like that was better. And two, I know some women will kind of...
Take it the wrong way.
Exactly.
They think it's about them.
Exactly, think it's them and stuff.
Every
and all
woman
that.
think
and the
more,
girl
most
was a
women.
cute girl and stuff. And all that. So I was like, I'd just rather her think that pussy was so good I came fast.
Busted.
versus-
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Every
that's...
nigga has went through that before. Every nigga has had to where they soldier was not on salute when they needed to be.
Yeah, I certainly have. I actually think most of the time it's not about the girl. And there's like a huge kind of fallacy in terms of this situation that we think that, you know, automatically if the guy doesn't stay hard, it's because she wasn't beautiful enough or he doesn't like her enough or whatever. And I don't think that's the case. At least in my experience, it hasn't been the case. And I'm starting to realize why would it be? Because if you think about it, the fact that we are even in bed together means I want to sleep with this person. So I would want to be hard if I could help it.
Sometimes the car.
Sometimes the car, sometimes the kitchen, right?
Sometimes behind a Whataburger.
Sometimes next to a Dairy Queen.
Sometimes in front of a gallery furniture in the car. Sometimes in the pool. Sometimes
right.
on the roof.
Sometimes
in a movie theater. These are all true, by the way.
Sometimes in your mom's bed. These are all true. My chest. Sorry, I'm sick.
I'm sick of your bullshit.
But yeah, I just think that there's a real, I don't know, there's something we don't pay attention to in terms of erectile dysfunction, and for the most part, it's not about the woman. It's about what's going on in his head and his nervousness, possibly to perform, or like you said, emotional things with relationships, even though going on in your life, sort of thing. But typically, the woman unfortunately feels some sort of shame when she goes through those situations, when she really doesn't have to. I mean, sometimes it can be that the guy is so nervous because she's so attractive. I've heard a story where that's happened too. So to immediately assume it's because you're not good enough for him I think most of the time isn't true. And I'm not saying it's not reasonable to go there, because of course that's the first thing you would think, but just if it eases some of your pain, it's really mostly not true, I don't think.
Closed doors, I'm a fool for your love.